All right, so following the production and all of that, and I'm sure you did hear one of the panelists there talking about energy, electricity, and the cost of it. It's a major input to the real sector, manufacturing, trade, and all. So let's discuss that. And there's a question I've been seeing around, at least for the weekend, asking if the sun can save us in Nigeria. Yeah, well, we see crude oil price reducing at this time, good and bad on one side and the other. But we've seen a lot of Nigerians turn to solar. And then when we heard the drums of a possible ban on importation of panels, solar panels, well, there were a lot of dissenting voices. And then the government has come to say, well, we are not banning the import of solar panels now, which some stakeholders seem to agree with and are happy with. So now that's why they're asking if the sun can save us, if the national grid has not been able to hold the demand for so many years, can we turn to the sun? We have the founder and chief executive officer of Arnergy, Mr. Femi Adeyemo, right here in the studio. Mr. Adeyemo, good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning, Nini. Thank you for having me.
Great. So can the sun save us?
I think the short answer is yes. But we've always been an advocate of the right mix of energy, especially in the context of Nigeria. But where we are now, if we look at all what has happened in the last 12, 18 months, I think that it is fair to say that largely the sun can save us, and I can try to unpack that a bit. Let's take the residential. As a matter of fact, Nigeria has no business relying on the grid based on the economics today to power our residences. We should go all out to power Nigerian homes with solar. I take it a bit up. SMEs, similar to residential, hospitals, hotels, schools. We have, again, no reason to rely on the grid to power those businesses, especially businesses that run only during the day. We're lucky where we're located, at longitude and latitude. We're very lucky, and we should be maximizing that. And if we then look at the cost today, solar panel costs, but most especially lithium battery costs. I can tell you that in the last 18 months, battery kilowatt hour pricing had halved at the moment. What does that mean? It means that now Nigerians can get reliable and now affordable solar plus lithium battery, because there is also conversations around sustainability. We also don't want Nigerians to just go and install solar, because solar is not solar. And we've seen that a lot in recent time in Nigeria, where Nigeria now is gradually becoming a dumping ground, and that's not what we want, because eventually that will not be sustainable. So as we're preaching residential SMEs to go solar, because indeed the sun can save us, we should ensure that as Nigerians are looking to that, to get solar, they should ensure and ask questions, what type of solar are they getting? If they're getting a 10 kVA or a 10 kilowatt solution, are they really getting 10 kVA? Or is this 6 kilowatts coming from somewhere in Asia and they label it as 10 kilowatts? We've seen a lot of that coming. So Nigerians should be aware of that.
I guess that's one of the reasons the government was talking about banning the importation of
No, I disagree. I think those are two different things. Because banning does not necessarily mean that, if we don't put in the right controls and the right monitoring.
This is Standards Organization of Nigeria, I believe.
Absolutely. Standard Organization of Nigeria, maybe also even the customs might have some role to play in that. But on the importation, we know that the time is not right, and I'm not surprised to hear that the government had come out to say we're not banning solar panel at the moment. We're at a point where solar is just about to take off. There are different reports that we have seen on maybe the installed capacity of solar last year, but I believe that we're still less than 1 gigawatt solar installation per annum. If,
So one of the discouraging factors has always been the costs. We know solar is very capital intensive. So even if you're talking of the residential,
Right.
you can hardly put all your appliances on solar. You can do the light ones, but
I disagree.
if you do fridge, can you do fridge?
Oh
Can
my
you do
gosh,
AC? That's a lot of money you're going to spend.
So, I mean, Energy has been around for what now? 11 years? And I can tell you that there are energy customers on the residential.
Is
and
it the rent to own model?
Yeah. So again, 2-3 years ago, when we talked about rent to own, it's on a different conversation. But now, the game has changed completely. And what do I mean? We are now able to tell Nigerian business or a homeowner to say, for you to switch to solar, and it's not just light. I mean, we have Nigerian businesses that are completely off-grid, including powering air conditioners, and they are paying on a monthly basis. Because now, I mean, if you're on band A, for instance, 220 naira a kilowatt hour, you can get solar that you pay on a monthly basis, and your effective kilowatt hour pricing can be less than 100 naira a kilowatt hour. So it's important that as Nigerians, again, are looking at the sun saving us, they're asking questions on ensuring that affordability and sustainability is part of the game. Because, I mean, solar, that technology has evolved from where it was 11 years ago. Now, air conditioning, I mean, we have hospitals that are using a solution now, I mean, to operate and in their ICUs.
And the payment monthly spread for how long and about how much monthly compared to if you were in a band A, for instance?
So, based on the tenor, again, because we're at a point now where from month 1, we can show you savings versus what you are spending if you're on the grid. Of course, we don't need to talk about diesel or petrol because those are a lot more expensive now. Prior to now, we would do 2 years, 3 years, but I can tell you that there are businesses now that are signed up on energy rent to own that are spreading it for 10 years.
That's a risk on energy.
Thank you for saying that. We are happy to take on that risk. Why? Because we know the quality of the system and the product that we deploy. A lot of other companies, again, some of those that I've mentioned, cannot do that. But we have our systems that, I mean, the solar panel will last more than 25 years. Our lithium batteries will do more than 10 years. So with that, if you want to rent and own over 10 years, I mean, be our guest. But you know what we've seen? When we sign those tenure, because Nigerians, based on our culture and us as a people, we don't necessarily like to take a loan or lease things for long. So what we've seen is when they test it, 12 months, 18 months, oh, this thing is working. And then Nigerians come back to say, okay, can they own it outrightly? But we're able to do that again because we know the quality of the systems that we deploy.
Okay, so you talked about, Nigerians have to also be enlightened, in consuming this solar. What are some of the tips you can share with, our viewers on you want to get the solar panel, you want to get the lithium battery?
Right.
What are some of those things so, as you said, Nigeria does not become a dumping ground?
Absolutely. One of the things, I mean, that we represent is we don't see ourselves as just a solar company or a solar installation company. We're powering lives. And we don't want a situation whereby 18 months, the system, become non-functional. So one of the ways that we have tried to educate the consumer is we have webinars that we more or less set up where we educate Nigerians. We have newsletters, educational materials, more or less blog, where we tell Nigerians what to look out for. So for instance, where you are buying that system for, do they have warranty on the system? Is there support structure? If the system breaks...
What's an average warranty I should expect?
So for instance, a good lithium system should come with 5 years warranty. But beyond just saying 5 years warranty, who are the backers of the company that you're buying from? If anything happens, can you pick up the phone and call them? So some of those are things that we've put in place, even as we're setting up more or less and our distribution channels across the country. Because one thing that we also know that is critical is, can sun save us? Of course, the sun can save us, but accessibility is also very important. So can you get the system, proximity of the system to where you want it? But beyond that is when you buy the system, are you able to come? Because let us get this right. These systems are electronics. There are times, we can say 10 years warranty. There might be instances where there is a need for some support. People would say, oh, solar doesn't need maintenance. Excuse me. If your solar panel gathered dust during the harmattan season, the yield can be reduced as low as 80% lower than what you should get. So where you're buying that system from, do you have maintenance? Maintenance is very important. So when Nigerians are looking at acquiring, do they have a company that they can call to ensure that the system can be maintained when it is required? As a matter of fact, for every of Arnergy customers, either we install or you buy our products, you can always call the contact center at any point in time. Maintenance is scheduled. We call it preventive maintenance. So even before any issue happens, we ensure that the one we install directly, the ones that are installed by our installers, we ensure that we put in that maintenance culture, because that is critical to ensure the sustainability of the system in the long run.
So you said, we're just beginning. The flight is just about to take up. But what's the consumption pattern you see for this solar renewable energy for the country, maybe for the rest of the year and all of that? I don't think we've had any grid collapse this year.
Which is good.
We're celebrating that.
Which is good.
Crude oil price is reducing. It should, translate to a reduced petrol price.
Petrol prices.
So these are competition for you.
Absolutely. But again, the way we see solar is when you get into that investment, you have clarity and there is no volatility in how much you pay. So the businesses that I mentioned that they signed up for 10 years, from day one, they know what their payment is for the rest of the 120 months. With petrol or diesel, you can't really tell that. So, but again, we are an advocate. I didn't mention what our proposition is for the grid and maybe the industry. As a nation, I believe that gas has some role to play, especially on the industry. What we should be doing for us to really energize our industry is to ensure that the grid is now able to focus on the industry so that we can produce more and create more jobs, but everyone else should be on the residential and on the SMEs, they should be on solar. But based on, price or no price, 6-7 years ago when some of our, first set of investors were discussing, oh, Femi, what will happen to solar or energy in Nigeria when either the grid gets stable or petrol price reduces? I'm like, all of this, we want it to happen, but investment is what would drive grid stability, for instance. If you want, gas to be able to power us 24 hours, it's investment, and that capital will need some returns. So at the end of the day, the economics that we have now, where solar is cheaper than every of the other sources, either it is petrol, diesel, or grid, we believe that it will continue to happen, because you know what is driving the lithium battery prices coming down? It's electric vehicles. And that technology globally now is, you can't stop it. So with that, we believe that we'll continue to see cost of solar plummeting.
So are you into the plan? The energy map of Nigeria, master plan, has been decentralized. So states have, bigger roles to play now. Are you in that plan?
Absolutely. So we are in active conversation with some state governments at the moment. When that happens, we still prefer decentralized. And what do I mean? We go to a state university and put 2 megawatt, 3 megawatts of solar. We go to the tertiary healthcare institutions, and we also put solar plus lithium storage to power such facilities. So the short answer to your question is yes, and we're very active on that, and some of our activities in that will be in the news in the coming weeks.
All right, we'll be listening to the news together. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Mr.
Ine.
Femi Adeyemo, founder and Chief Executive Officer of Arnergy.
Thank you for having me.